This is Live Prepper here, the World of Joe. Now, I see where Jimmy Rant did a series talk about spouse who won't prep or refuses prep. I want to tell you something now. You tell them kiss your grits, because you know what it is? You're prepping, whether it's on a small scale or a large scale. The thing is that at your food, at your water you put up, that a homemade stove or whatever you made, that alcohol stove you made temporarily, or the fire starters and things that I showed you, the little burners that I made. If the power goes out and you're stuck, say it's snow 6 foot and you're stuck in the house, you can't get out, all this stuff you done, he or she is going to benefit from it. He and she and the children are going to benefit from your prepping. So tell them to kiss your grits. I want to tell you right now, when I slowly started getting into it, I started with water, putting it up, and I was a little paranoid, getting concerned, because down in Tennessee, when it froze, and you would have water for days a lot of times, because, well, they don't have basements as a general rule down there in Tennessee. It's a lot of bedrock. So I remember growing up, my grandmother, my mom, them, they would get every pan, every bucket they had in the house, they'd fill it up, because they knew the pipe was going to end up freezing, just in case they had water. That was just precautionary measure. So I got like that when I moved up here. I started, every time I empty me out a jug of Kool-Aid or Tropicana or a jug of tea or whatever it is, I got filling it up. So I ended up with about 50 jugs of drinking water. And I had other jugs, containers and things, larger containers, filled up with just water for purpose of washing and washing dishes, washing stuff up, and flushing. And what I did during that time when the water was so messed up, I would heat my water up, and I used it to wash with. Then after I got done washing with it, I used it to wash my dishes with during that time. Of course, I had paper plates and cups, but I still had a few pans and stuff where I had to heat food up. Once I was done with those two things, I used it to flush my toilet with. So I was able to get through a lot of cold months. There's people talking about my water's froze, I don't have no water. And they was running down to the store and is cleaning the shelves off with all the water they bought. And just literally cleaned it off. Now I keep, as a general rule, about 20 gallons of drinking water, basically at all times. I try to. And I keep, like I said, with this jug here, I usually keep between 4 to 6 different types of drink on hand. I don't keep tea on hand, because the simple fact is, once you open it up, it will go bad eventually. Now, what I'm saying is stuff like this here, the Tropicana, the Kool-Aid, things like that, you can leave it sitting out room temperature, and it'll last a lot longer than a gallon of Kool-Aid would. A gallon of tea, excuse me, because it'll go bad. So I'm just telling you, if your spouse ain't on board with it, don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. Tell them to kiss your grits. That's right. If she's not on board with it, that's all right. Don't worry about it. Say, kiss my grits. I don't care. I want to do this anyway, with or without your help. Because they're going to come back and they're going to benefit what you did. There was etcher blankets you bought. What about those etcher candles that you bought at the yard sale during the summer, What about the oil lamps that you finally bought? Now, I want to that's on my list, is some oil lamps. I don't have the cash flow to really spend like I want, but that is on my list. And every day I'm learning something other new. So as I was starting to do the prepping, I was kind of uncomfortable about talking much about it, because the way people react to preppers. When you say the word prepper, they just, oh God, she's one of those psychos. And But my friend, he still lives a couple of hours away. Hopefully he'll be moved up here within a year, because I got a long honeydew list for him. But I've known him for years. So I kind of started easing in. He couldn't understand why I was saving water. So I am. And I said, when you get up here, I want to get a couple of 55-gallon drums, set them up in the basement or in an area where they can't be seen, to collect rainwater for my plants and stuff, instead of using city water. So then I had to ease into the food thing. Well, you know what? I'm buying extra beans and dry beans, and I'm buying extra rice, and I bought some extra pasta and things, and I'm putting them up, and oats and things. I'm putting them up, setting them aside just in case something happens. I'll have extra food to depend on. So he's like, well, if everything happened, might as well be dead, cause it's gonna be da da da. That's what his ratchet is. Might as well be dead. But then I started easing in a little more, and talk about how to do stuff, how I made this and how I made that, how I did this and how I did that. Then I started easing into talking about articles I read on things. So I was easing them into this. Then I was talking to them about my YouTube video. So, well, I'm doing my YouTube video now on everything from nature to this. And I said, you know what? Guess what? I said, da, 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 da. He goes, really? And he knows a lot of stuff. He's one of those good old boys. He knows a lot of stuff, and he can build anything with his hands. So I eased into that. His mom hates anything basically country, just hates it. But, we're good friends, but she hates it. Told her the other day, I said to her, well, I was down at McDonald's. I was making a video. She goes, oh my God. I said, just deal with it. Just deal with it. Because she thinks I got too much time on hand doing videos. Maybe I do have time on my hands. But the fact is that I could be sitting there watching TV and still have time on my hands. So I'm doing this because I enjoy doing it. And also I want to reach out to people. So this is the reactions you get. Just tell them kiss your grits. You don't have to tell them everything you do. Just tell them you save it up some extra food or water or whatever. Just basically, you don't have to tell them everything. And if your spouse ain't on board, who cares? If your kids ain't on board, who cares? Because I'm going to tell you what. If SHTF happens in your area, whether it's due to a storm or man-made or whatever, they're going to be, hello, hello, anybody in there? We're hungry. They're going to be at your door. They're going to be knocking at your door wanting to be fed. That's what's going to happen. So don't worry about it. Don't let them upset you. There's a way of putting your stuff up without it being all over, without them really seeing it. I took some old buckets I brought in from this little old part-time job I got, rinsed them out. I put my stuff in there. I taped the lid out. I put a label on it. I stick them to the side. The thing is, you could turn around and get your, like Jimmy Rand said, you could do your storage container if you want to and put a few things in there, supplies and first aid kits and all that. They don't have to be where your spouse can see it. If they're going to get all upset, just put it out of the way. You don't have to prep on a huge scale. Just sit down and figure out what you need basically for you and your family to survive for this many amount of days. And then try to figure out, after you got all that goal reached, let's say 30 days. Let's just figure 30 days. Okay, this is what you got to figure out what it takes for you and your family. And always add 2 more people. So you got 4 in your family, then add 2 more. So figure 6 people for 30 days. After you reach that 30-day goal, then figure out 6 people for 6 months. Well, how much would it take care? And then figure that out. You can prep on a small scale, and you can prep in such a way that it's not going to upset your spouse. You can turn around, and if you want to have candles on hand, you can buy candle holders and things. You can set up candles all around your house and make it look nice. You can set them up on your wall if you want to. You can put them in boxes and put them up out of the way. You can buy waterproof matches. You can buy extra matches. You can do whatever you want. A lot of it don't take up a lot of space. And so just tell them kiss your grits. Just tell them kiss your grits, because I will tell you what, the first time something really bad happens, or you're out of power for a number of days, or you're out of water, or you was in one of those states with a water pollution. I'm surprised we didn't have a water pollution again this year. And it's early. We didn't have it. Yeah, I'm surprised. It's early. I don't remember if we had another one last year. Yeah, we did. We had one in Ohio here. So that's what I'm saying. You tell him or her or your children to kiss my grits. If you don't like it, deal with it, because I'm going to tell you what. You are eating the food that I make up and save up. You are using the toilet paper that I'm putting up. you are using my laundry detergent that I'm making. You are using the cleaning supplies that I'm making. You know, I took some cleaning stuff over to my friend, and I took the air freshener that I made. I showed how to make on one of my videos. And I want to tell you, she said, oh, that one smells nice. You know what? It's set in the corner. She never used it. But she would rather go to the store and buy a $5 bottle of spray than to use that cost me pennies to make and smell just as good as what she would have bought in the store. I brought over to her a cleaning item made from vinegar, lemons, and oranges and limes. I made it from these here to clean with. I use it around the house. I spray around the house. It's a nice disinfectant around the carpets and everything. I like putting it on the counter. I like spraying it down on my bed too, and spraying it around the animals' sleep. Do you know she never used it? She went to the store and bought cleaning stuff because she can't let go of what's in that store. In that store, she's brain is geared up to using this. So you don't worry about it. You just tell them to kiss your grits. If your kinfolks are ridiculing you for you putting up extra stuff, you say, kiss my grits. Don't worry about it. But don't ever let them know exactly how much you got. Because if things does happen, they're going to be knocking on your door. Well, I'm out of food. You know, lights been out for 2 weeks and we ain't been able to cook and I'm out of food. Can you give me some? That's what you're going to be looking at. So then you're going to have this dilemma. So if you plan on feeding all your kinfolks and your neighbors and stuff, maybe you need to prep a little bit more stuff up and think about it. So there's nothing wrong with it. Don't worry about your spouse. Don't worry about your kids. Don't worry about yourself. You go ahead and do that because you don't know what's going to happen. And SHTF happens every day in a small level scale. If you check out my videos and things and talk about it, I talk about different things. And I do my how-to-do. As soon as it gets warmed up, I'm back out there doing some more of my how-to-dos. So you know what? You just tell them kiss your grits. Tell them to kiss your grits. Just go ahead and do what you're doing. Don't get overboard on it. Just prep it up. Fix it where you can put it out of sight, where your spouse and your kids don't have to see it. And do it on a basic overall scale. If you got a storage building full of stuff and storage, get you a container. Turn around and get you some other containers if you need to. Get and put another smaller container inside of it so you can double insulate it and put things in there to keep it dry. Put it up. Don't worry about it. Just stick it out there. Put a little mark it on. You don't have to put anything. You can put, Uncle George's stuff on it. You don't have to have label food. You don't want to label food. Do what you got to do. Don't worry about them. Just tell them kiss your grits. I tell people kiss my grits all the time. They think I'm unique. So what? I am. Because I see things different than most people. They say, you ain't got an ounce of modesty in your life. No, I don't. I say what's on my mind. I tell how it is. Now, I'm not as bad as I used to be. I used to be really bad. So you just tell them, kiss your grits. You go on and do what you're doing. Just prep it up. Figure it up. Start at a 30-day mark. Then turn around and start at, after you get that 30 days done, if you want to start at a 3-month mark or a 6-month mark, you got 4 in the family, prep up for 6. Allow for 2 more people because you don't know who's going to show up on that doorstep. And actually, prepping up for that extra 2 people would help. If you got 6 people in their family, then prep up for 9 people. Figure this all up. Figure out what you have, and then figure out what you can use long term. You don't have to spend you don't have to buy all those MREs and all that stuff. You can go down to the stores and buy these dollar packs and stuff and heat them up with hot water. You can turn around and get you a bowl with a lid. Throw them in. I'm going to tell you what. I did work for years. I took Roman noodles, and I took a styrofoam cup and a lid, and I'd break that Roman noodles up in there, and I'd heat my water up, and I'd pour it in there, and I'd put that lid on it. By the time lunchtime rolled around, I had something to eat because it all was absorbed from the heat and stuff by being in there. And that's what you do. You just sit down and then figure out solar panels. I mean, Maybe you want a solar cook or something other. Maybe you need to figure out how that, you know what, you can make one for $5. You can use a tire, you can use aluminum foil, and you can use a piece of window glass, a storm window pane to help make something with. There's all kinds of sources. Just show them some of the things. As a matter of fact, leave it laying around where they can't help but read it. They might accidentally pick it up and start slowly going on board. So like I said, just tell them to kiss your grits, jump in the lake, don't care, I'm going to do what I got to do. And you're eating off the food that I'm prepping up. So kiss my grits. Don't let that spouse or those kids tell you wrong. If you feel the need to put up extra food and supplies for your family, then do it. Don't worry about what they think, because they're eating the food and they're eating the supplies that you're prepping up. So this is Life Prepper, the World of Joe. I want y'all to be safe, be happy. Bless you all.